Welcome back to Comic Universe, the only nerd-centric thing you need in your life. DPZ rolling solo once again for another comic review sent to us by our good friend Chris. And yeah, this is going to be my review of the Image comic, Glitterbomb. A comic written by Jim Zub. And yeah, this comic is a neat little Hollywood horror story. Now, the comic is pretty much centered around an aging D-list actor named Farrah Durant, who has been looking for a new part in Hollywood, but Hollywood, allow me to decimate any thoughts of you thinking that Hollywood was all about, being inclusive and, being, for the people and doing all these cool movies and, showing off, gay rights and all that. No, it's to make a bottom dollar. Allow me to burst your bubble on how, quote-unquote, progressive Hollywood can be. And granted, not every Hollywood director, actor, or what have you are assholes looking to sexually harass the first woman they see. Let me state that not everyone's like that in Hollywood, but a good amount, a good, 60% of it is, or over 60% of it is that, where they're not after, they're not here to change hearts and minds, they're after your money in the box office. Let me be clear about that, and this movie, and this comic book clearly shows that. But there is a twist with that. It's not just a comic book of a young, not young, a aging actress, falling out of favor with fame and fortune. There's something else inside of her. Something evil. We don't know what it is. It is an entity that has taken her over and is feeding off of her rage, her anger, her frustration, and it's becoming alive and killing people. This comic it's kind of like if the Venom symbiote took over, instead of Eddie Brock, it took an aged starlet. That's kind of what this comic is. We don't know what the entity is. It clearly, lives inside of Farrah, and it feeds on her rage and carries out her will. And I like it. It's a neat little 4-part comic. With all Image books, the first volumes are always $9.99, so about about $10. That's how they get you, guys. That's how they get you with the $10 comic. But it's interesting to note that Farrah it's really heartbreaking to watch Farrah fall from grace in just 4 issues, and also have this entity who's carrying out her rage inside of her. At first, she's like, what the fuck's going on? But really quickly, she's like, yeah, this is going to help me murder some fuckers. And murder some fuckers she does. What's interesting to note is that, Farrah fell out of favor pretty early in her career. She was kind of in a Star Trek, a parody of Star Trek. But the thing is that, something happened to her that made her quit, the show early, and what caused her to essentially fall from grace from everyone, because no one cared about what happened to her. And it's heartbreaking to watch, because this is the beast that is Hollywood. This is totally what the beast is at Hollywood. If you think you're just going to be like another Mel Gibson, or, a George Clooney that comes from nothing and becomes a somebody, you are sadly fucking mistaken, my friend. You are greatly mistaken in that regard, because Hollywood doesn't care about you. It cares about what money it can make off of you for how long, and then move on to the next person. That's what we're looking at on here. And this comic is bloody. This comic is for mature readers. I'm going to state really clearly that this comic is not for the faint of heart. This is a comic that is bloody, violent, and just depressing to read. And in a good way. It really does show that Hollywood, the city made of gold, has some darker shades to it. And this entity, also kind of accentuates that. And I don't know what else to call it, because it's a parasite. It's an entity. We don't know where it is. We don't know where it came from. All we know is that it's attracted to Farrah's rage. Farrah also in here has a babysitter for her son named Caden. And there is a second volume. This isn't really volume. It's called Volume 1, but it's more of a self-contained comic. So if you just want to read this comic, by all means you can. and this can be the end of the book for you. This can be the end of the book. But there is a sequel. It's called Volume 2, but it's really a sequel called The Fame Game, which focuses on Caden dealing with the fallout of Farah, as well as, you know, the entity following her now. Which I don't want to go too deep because I haven't read it, but this was really good. This is a neat little story. From what I understand is that Red Carpet, we see in this comic, Red Carpet follows on an aging actress. This, in The Fame Game, as the sequel is called, focuses on a starlet trying to get her name in Hollywood. And Caden's not a bad character, she's just very naive. And Farah, throughout the comic, is like, look, Hollywood is not what you think it is. You know, it is a beast that is going to chew you up and spit you out. She's really sympathetic, and what we go through with Farah is really just sad for her. And how it all comes down on her. But yeah. Also, if you're interested, the extra content in the comic is not only just covers, alternate covers, and, you know, sketch art. There's also several stories from different actors and actresses and producers and what have you, who have had some major horror stories in Hollywood that made them want to quit the business and move on with their lives. That's, when you read those are really depressing. Like, super major depressing. That is, you know, it's really heartbreaking to watch those. So if you're looking for, you know, a good horror comic and looking for something a little more dramatic, and you don't want to spend too much money on it, I'd say, yeah, pick up Glitterbomb. Pick up Glitterbomb. And like I said, 4 issues, that's it. You know, if you don't want to read the second volume, you don't have to. This is a really self-contained story. So you could just do that and move on if you weren't satisfied. So, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I give this a really good review. But again, this is for mature audiences only. So, you guys, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and if you're new here, remember to Hulk smash that subscribe button and join and be a part of the Earth's mightiest subscribers here on Comic Universe. But once again, this is DPZ rolling solo. Hope you all enjoyed this comic review, and we will see you once again right here in the YOUniverse.